Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
I'm Ted.
Today we have a What Do You Bring to the Table edition of Nerdarchy. And today Ted is going to show off some of the things he brings to the table.
Before we get into that, though, why don't you guys go down to the description below, sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips delivered straight to your email, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy. So the binder, I've kind of gone back and forth with this kind of thing over the editions. Back in the day, with 3rd edition, 2nd edition, I used to do a lot of character notebooks. And you just get your basic notebook, and I would actually,
everything was handwritten.
Yeah, it was
no
handwritten.
Character sheets.
So like with the later editions though, like there's the online fillable PDFs that you can usually get, and you update it manually, digitally, and just print it out in between sessions. But I found that doing that, you wind up like losing your notes, losing your character sheets, and at some point in time it's like, okay, well, I can print the last update, but all the little handwritten notations and loot wind up going astray. So I was like, well, what can I do to...
How do we bridge the gap?
How do I bridge the gap? So your basic three ring binder winds up being the perfect solution. And I've got one that you can slide stuff in the front and back cover, so you can wind up using it as player notes or GM notes. So on the front I have a reference guide with a bunch of different page numbers located for your player references. It's got the multi-class stat requisites, more page numbers of appropriate, then stuff from the DM's guide, wild effects tables, XP thresholds by character level, villainous class options, magic item rarity and their value. So like all this fun stuff. On the back, somebody had done online, the failed perception checklist. So as opposed to just saying, oh, you don't see anything, there's 10 different options of things that you can actually say as the GM. Something like, you detect nothing of interest, but something just feels wrong. Perhaps it's paranoia, or perhaps it's your sixth sense warning you of a lurking danger. So you've got these kind of effects that are right there on the one side that you can be able to pull
Because you
out.
need a line that's going to make your already paranoid players more paranoid.
Well, that's just happened to be the one example that I jumped to. So inside, I've got it scheduled for different things. In the front, I've got my active character sheets. Well, that one's sort of active. That one's sort of active, but that one's in that game, that one's in a game, that one's in a game. And then the middle section is all of the stuff that Watts has put out. All of your unearthed arcanas, all of your your little tables like monsters by type, monsters by challenge rating, D&D spell list, then all of the many unearthed arcanas that are in there. Really great, useful. Then there's some stuff that has been put out by the Dungeon Masters Guild and Drive Through RPG. So I've got third-party stuff that has been put out, and that's all of these. And then I get into my characters that are no longer playing, or characters that haven't gotten a DM yet. It's something that I've made that I'd like to play at some point in time, but it hasn't happened. And since you can get
your character to-do list.
Yeah. And since you can always just layer in, the sheets, you can use previous printed sheets as notations so that you can be able to put things in there. And when you finish the session, you put it all back up in the same place, and nothing gets lost.
In theory.
So, in theory, if you're, as organized as I am, everything should be all in one convenient place.
Now, the downside is, if you lose a binder, you lose everything on one shot.
Yes, granted, I have, all of the stuff, saved on the computer at its last, iteration, but any handwritten notes, they become lost to the winds.
Yeah, that's actually a really good solution because I have like all the Unearthed Arcanas printed out and scattered like all over my house.
But in one place, they're all here, they're all, done. Now mine, I just kind of throw it in willy-nilly. I don't have it put in here by date. That I think is going a little bit too far-fetched. But that is my D&D binder, and Dave disappeared off camera to grab my other binder.
Yeah, if we're talking about binders, we might as well also grab Ted's Star Wars binder as well. But I believe you actually came up with a little bit of a different reason for creating this binder.
So this one, number one, I've got my because Star Wars has custom dice, I've got the dice bag, which is the nice happy Mandalorian symbol. And I've got that clipped to the inside. I went and grabbed a just Star Wars role-playing game logo to be able to throw in the front. I'm not currently DMing Star Wars, so I didn't feel, actually any notes were necessary. And of course, I've got my character sheet, the printed out notes that the DM has given, as well as the nice cheat sheets he's given us. But the reason I put this forward, because I had next to nothing, just these little bit. I had them in a basic little folder, and I kept that with my RPG books. But with the Fantasy Flight dice scare that was going on that we talked about a number of times in our Star Wars videos, I bowed down to, or I succumbed to the desire and picked up the 3 beginner games, just because we did an unboxing and I was so impressed with the amount of stuff that was in it. I'm like, you know what? I think that's really useful information to have, and this way I'll get the dice that I need, and I'll get all of this information, to go along with it. So I have done an article online about the Edge of the Empire box set, and here you're able to just store everything, even the thick books that come in there. This thing is 40, 50 pages.
Like 32 or something.
Nah, the thick ones are like 40, 48.
The rule books.
Yeah. And it's a lot of information, but with the standard sheets that you can get for the 3-ring binder, it fits. And unless it ships now. It takes a little bit of working to get in there, but it fits, and now
all in one place.
You got maps and character sheets and adventure books.
I saw a page of pawns.
Way back in the back, I put all of my pawns together. I haven't punched them out of their sheets or even released them from, their plastic wrapping, but they're there. They're all unpunched, ready to go, and at some point in time, I will probably grab some kind of bag that I can layer them in here, and just, punch holes in it so that they, will fit and not go all over the place.
They have them. I don't even think you have to punch holes. I think you can get the like pencil cases or something that would fit right into your binder, and you'd be able to add them right in there.
Well, that's what I'm going to have to pick up. But it's regardless of what game, what tabletop RPG you're playing, I think these things are the way to go, because you've got the ability to store all of your information, and you can put anything in these sheets. I know there's sheets that have just the complete opening, as well as the like the ones that you can fold over and seal, so the stuff
like Trapper Keepers.
Yeah. So you can get the sheets however you want. There's pockets in both sides, or at least the ones that I use, so you can have handy notes and reference sheets that are there.
And they're sturdy too. I mean, they're going to protect your stuff pretty well. The covers. I've always used them as a DM, and in my basement where I keep my stuff, I have the thick blue ones that I acquired over the years from somewhere, and I think there might even be the original Old Ganya maps in there still.
Oh wow!
So yeah, like I said, I've used them as a DM, not really so much as a player. It makes sense now, and it is an easy way to keep them. And also, like when we did the unboxings, like one of our complaints about the Star Wars game is the boxes were so flimsy.
The boxes were flimsy. They didn't have the standard, as we would call it, the old school campaign setting.
Yeah,
you don't lift
the box,
up. You lift open the tab, and it uses less cardboard that way, but it also doesn't make for easy storage in any way,
It's
shape,
not
or
going to hold
form.
up. Yeah.
And yeah, they're going to get crushed. Whereas, you get one of these guys and it's totally going to keep your stuff safe. This is a big binder because there's a lot of information in here, so it's not going to fit as easy.
I will say though, the box sets look much nicer on a shelf than the binders.
Yeah, so I got nothing to slide in here at the moment. So if I grab another one of these, I can slide it into that spot. And it's not going to look as nice on the shelf. But if I have to travel or if I have to do anything, I know it's all safe.
It does what it needs to do.
It's all safe. It's all going to be good. My stuff is going to stay in good shape.
Score. So you guys, how about you tell us what innovations you use at the table, how you keep your character sheets or your gaming stuff, what keeps your game organized and going in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can head over to nerdarchy.com and check out all the awesome stuff over there.
Till next time,
Stay nerdy.